Anita Desai, born Anita Majumdar, is an Indian novelist and author of children's book. As a writer, she has been shortlisted for the Booker Prize 3 times. She received a Sahitya Academy Award in 1978 for her novel Fire on the Mountain from the Sahitya Academy. Desai was born in 1937, 24 June 1937, in Missouri, India, to a German immigrant mother, Tony Nime, and a Bengali businessman, D.N. Majumdar. German immigrant mother, Tony Nime, Bengali businessman, D.N. Majumdar. She began to write in English at the age of 7 and published her first story at the age of 9. The suppression and oppression of Indian women were the subjects of her first novel, Cry the Peacock 1963, and a later novel, Where Shall We Go This Summer 1975. The suppression and oppression of Indian women were the subject of her first novel, Cry the Peacock 1963, and a later novel, Where Shall We Go This Summer 1975. Fire on the Mountain 1977, praised for its poetic symbolism and use of sounds. Clear Light of Day 1980, considered the author's most successful work, is praised for its highly evocative portrait of two sisters caught in the lassitude of Indian life. Clear Light of Day 1980, considered the author's most successful work, and that is praised for its highly evocative portrait of two sisters caught in a lassitude of Indian life. It explores German and Jewish identity in the context of a chaotic contemporary India. Other novels by Desai includes In Custody, 1984, film 1994, and Journey to Ithaca, 1995, Fasting Feasting, 1999, The Zigzag Way, 2004. Other novel by Anita Desai includes The Custody, 1984, and was filmed in 1994. 1984, then 1994, it was filmed. Journey to Ithaca, 1995. Fasting Feasting, 1999. The Zigzag Way, 2004. Other novels by Anita Desai include The Custody, Custody, 1984, जिस पे फिल्म बनाई गई थी, फिल्म बनी थी 1994 में. Journey to Ithaca, Journey to Ithaca, 1995. Fasting Feasting, Feasting 1999. The Zigzag Way, 2004. The Zigzag Way, 2004. Desai also wrote short fiction collections include Games at Twilight and Other Stories, 1978, and Diamond Dust and Other Stories, and several children's books including The Village by the Sea. Desai also wrote short fiction collection includes Games at Twilight, short fiction collection Games at Twilight and Other Stories, 1978, Diamond Dust and Other Stories, 2000, and several children's books, including The Village by the Sea, 1982. It was a children book. The Village by the Sea, children book. Diamond Dust and Other Stories, 2000 में लिखा गया. Games at Twilight and Other Stories, 1978 में. The Artist of Disappearance, 2011. The Artist of Disappearance, 2011. A trio of linked novellas about the art world, each featuring a different kind of disappearance. Her children's book, The Village by the Sea, 1982. Her children's book, The Village by the Sea. Children's book, The Village by the Sea, 1982. Won the Guardian Children's Fiction Award. Guardian Children's Fiction Award. Clear Light of Day, 1980. In Custody, Clear Light of Day. Clear Light of Day, 1980. In Custody, 1984. And Fasting Feasting, 1999. Fasting Feasting, 1999. In Custody, 1984. In Custody. Custody, 1984. Each of which was shortlisted for the Booker Prize. Clear Light of Day, In Custody, and Fasting Feasting. Clear Light of Day, In Custody, and Fasting Feasting. Each of which shortlisted for the Booker Prize. Her daughter Kiran Desai won the Booker Prize for the novel The Inheritance of Laws, 2006. 2011, The Artist of Disappearance. 2004, The Zigzag Way, Diamond Dust and Other Stories, 2000. Fasting Feasting, 1999, 195, 1995. 1995, Journey to Ithaca, 1987. Bombay, 1984, In Custody, 1982. The Village by the Sea. Cry the Peacock, theme of the novel. The novel Cry the Peacock deals with the subject such as suppression and oppression of the Indian women. Being a family story, it mainly deals with the theme of marital discord, discontent between husband Gautam and wife Maya. Through this novel, the novelist has beautifully presented the feminine psychic of the common women. Cry the Peacock is a story of a young girl named Maya who was surrounded by childhood prophecies of disaster and was provided with more than enough attention, love, and care from her father. Maya is extremely sensitive married girl. Her actions are impulses, born reacting to human reality and nature as per her interest and detest. There is also an element of tragic pathos in her expression, varying from one moment to another according to her anxiety ridden mood. Maya was married to Gautam, who was a lawyer. As she got all the attention and care from her father, she expected the same from her husband also. But being a busy person, he is failed to meet her desires. He is completely opposite to Maya. He is a practical and pragmatic man. Maya needs a beloved spouse with broad understanding, extreme consciousness, creating and susceptible temperament, but Gautam lacked these qualities. Seeing her mental disposition, he put the blame on her father for spoiling her. Maya is extremely sensitive to beauty around her. The nature, flowers, fruit, pets, animals, sky, trees, etc. Gautam, on the other hand, is totally different from her. He is insensitive to the beauty of the nature. He is pure rationalist. Maya is enormously attached to past, lives almost in the world of memories, while Gotham values the importance of action because of his rational nature. The name of the character in the novel are consistent with their behaviors. Maya means illusion, and Gotham was Mahatma Buddha's name, who was able to who was able to rend the veil illusion of Maya. Thus, it is Maya that reveals the world of senses while Gautama rejects it entirely. Maya comes from an orthodox Brahmin family. She believed in astrology. The astrologer prophesied that one person of the couple would die soon in an unnatural manner, unable to get herself away from his thought. From this thought, she quickly slips into mental illness and get herself alienated from others. She herself is the cause of her alienation because she never makes herself clear to Gotham. She always remains disturbed by the death fear of the astrologer's prophecy. She also faces a number of emotional and psychological upheavals. Upheavals means disturbances, but never dares to tell anything to her husband. Thus, while Maya is attached to the world of senses, Gautama disapproves it entirely. Unsuccessful in resolving her discontent conflict with Gautama, she pushes him from the terrace. Subsequently, terminating her struggle, she commits suicide to at the end because of her guilt. The novel ends with her total complete mental breakdown collapse. Thus, with Cry the Peacock novel, Anita Desai had tried to present the psychological alienation of the Indian women. The issue of women, a hot subject in feminism, is addressed by Anita Desai with sensitiveness by character of Maya. She carries brings a new aspect of feminist publishing. Maya stands distinct from every female character in the novel. She is not exciting and psychologically amazing, surprising amongst besides all female characters. Cry the Peacock is divided into three sections: a short introduction and conclusion in objective third person narrative, and a long subjective middle section narrated by the neurotic heroine Maya. Chapter wise summary of Cry the Peacock. Part 1, Chapter 1. Toto was the pet dog of Maya. It died when Maya was alone at home. Its corpse lay exposed to the sun and the crows and flies in the heat of the month of April. As Maya was a childless woman, she loved Toto more deeply than people in general love their pets. She saw its eyes open and staring still, screamed, rushed to the garden, tapped to wash the vision from her eyes, continued to cry and ran, defeated into the house. Maya wanted that Toto's corpse should be buried in befitting manner, but the sweeper had gone to meet his brother and had not returned till evening. Maya felt the prick to see that crows gathered around Toto's body would eat anything, entrails, eyes, anything. She thought she saw the evil glint of a blue bottle and grew hysterical. Therefore, the gardener's wife took her into the house and kept her there. Maya's loneliness in her grief, as Maya loved Toto deeply, she needed somebody to console her, but her husband was not at home. She therefore sat at home. She therefore sat at home, sobbing and waiting for her husband to come home. Now and then she went out into the veranda to see whether her husband was coming. Whenever she went out into the veranda, she could not helping glancing at the corpse. Arrival of Gautama and his unemotional attitude. Gautama came home very late in the evening. As soon as he came home, he took steps to dispose of the body. He acted in a very formal and indifferent manner, as if he had no emotion for the pet dog of the house. Dogs love their masters deadly. Naturally, they get love of the master in equal measures, but Gautama is devoid of emotions. Therefore, he rang up to the public works department, which took away the corpse in its truck to cremate it. Gautama said, like an unconcerned person, that it was all over, implying the Toto chapter was closed forever. In a matter of fact, while he advised Maya to take tea and stop crying, the condition of Maya was in grief, but Gautama made a short work of the whole affair. Without taking notice of the mental state of his wife, the tea was brought with snacks and placed beside her. The curtain was a tea was brought with snacks and placed beside her. The curtain was drawn as the sun had gone down, symbolizing that the curtain was drawn on Toto's death. All was quiet, formal, waiting, just on every other evening before this. But it was impossible for Maya to forget Toto. Arrival of an advocate. As Gautama advised Maya to have a cup of tea, he was informed that an advocate friend had come to call at him. Gautama went out to the drawing room, asking Maya to send his tea to the drawing room. Maya was in need of consolation and company, but Gautama made light of her emotions. This incident also hurt Maya. Her husband, she found, had no care for her. She cried no and fled to the bedroom to fling herself onto the bed. Thinking of a small and stiff body of Toto, Gautama behavior made a deep wound in her heart. Part 2, Chapter 1. Maya's sorrow and Gautam's nonchalance, relaxed, indifferent. The incident of death of her pet dog reminded her of loneliness she had to bear in the earlier parts of her life. It was not my pet's death alone that I mourned today, but another sorrow, unremembered perhaps, as yet not even experienced, filled with me, filled me with this despair. Gautam's behavior lacerated her feeling. Gautam's casual advice, "You need a cup of tea," revealed how little he knew of my misery. The, the contrary between the contrariety between husband and wife inflicted wounds on the psychic of Maya. Loneliness tortured her, she said. It is that my loneliness in this house. Effect of Toto's death on Maya. Maya was perhaps right, as she said. Childless women do develop fanatic attachment to their pets. It is precisely the case of Maya. Death of Toto was a traumatic experience. She was care she was cursed by her husband. He removed the strands of hair from her wet eyes. Toto died without treatment. The fact that Toto died without treatment tormented her. He died before the vet arrived. Gautama was on the view that the vet would only have prolonged the pain. In a case like this, Maya agreed, yet she whimpered. He might have helped. People generally think in such situations that it would have been better if they had acted differently if they had done this or that. Toto was cremated unceremoniously, but Gotham's indifferent Gotham's indifferent remark that the dog must have been cremated by now opened and new wound. She held that Toto had been cremated unceremoniously. It pains the people if a dear person does not get an honor, does not get an honorable burial. Maya did not know that a scavenger's truck had taken away her pet dog. Gautam's aversion for rituals and Maya's faith in them. For Gautam, the rituals associated with burying or cremating anybody were merely meaningless formalities. The dead body was to be cremated some way or the other so that the atmosphere was not polluted. He added rather arrogantly and with actually to me to me it has always seemed the ultimate absurdity appropriate only in that it brings a meaningless life to a similarly meaningless end. Gotham was unethical, susceptible, contempt, contemptuous for the unintellectual common people and animals. Maya was hurt by his blasphemy. She retorted, "Oh Gotham, pets might not mean anything to you, and yet they mean the world to me. Living might not mean much to some people, but when they die, they want it to happen splendidly. Something that will be remembered for ages by everybody." Gotham's theory of detachment. Gotham still persisted in his argument. Gotham still persisted in his arguments, turning to say that age old traditions were irrelevant. He referred to the Gita, which, according to him, preached detachment on every count and drew the inference that they would be capable of disappearing without drawing upon their heads. This paraphernalia of vulgarity at the very moment of their disappearance. Maya countered that the dead would not disappear, they would remain in memory and leave marks of their footprints. Maya held that people often drew straight joy, consolations, etc., from the memories of the old associations and wished them to remain with them the whole of their lives. Maya's aversion for Gautama's materialism. Maya felt that Gautama had not grown at all during 4 years of married life. He was devoid of the pulsation of heart and considered materialistic progress as covetable achievement of life. Passions, strong emotions, convictions, etc., were unknown in his world of suits and suitors. In his world of materialism, murderers were done, murders were done for money, not for love or life or basic things like Toto dying. Maya discards Gautam's view that love is a superfluity. Gautam brushed aside Maya's love for basic things. He opined that reality and idealism were two phases of life, and they were to be reconciled for a happy and successful life. If women reared children, they needed money to give good life to the children. Love, that great and splendid ideal of the young, ultimately becomes, you will find, for the man a matter of dealing with the bills that come in, and for the women of worrying about it. He forgot that love is the sustaining force, not a superfluity, as he called it. These wide chasms between Maya and Gautama intensified Maya's sense of isolation and loneliness. She burst out, I shall miss him, Toto, terribly. Gautam, feeling that argument, discussions, etc., would not change his basic character. Therefore, she had to be alone in her world of love and emotions. Maya's love for poetry. Surprisingly, Gautama quoted an Urdu couplet, even if each star in the sky were an heart. What of it? Give to me one heart that is capable of sorrow, giving the impression that a heart full of emotions was beating in his chest. But he removed this illusion immediately as he informed that he had recently and receives an anthology of Persian couplet, which he thought contained a trophile too much of the last century, a trophile too little of contemporary work, which he thought contained a trophile too much of the last century, a trophile too little of contemporary work. On the contrary, Maya thought that this couplet gave her, what she says, absolute joy. Maya got the vision of astrologer when she went to bed. She heard the chant Radha Krishna, which transported her back to the awareness of a loveliness of time, the impossible vastness of the space. She felt like calling out to Gautama, but she knew that he would be of no help to her. As she lay musing, she got the vision of an astrologer who had predicted that either she or Gautama would die after 4 years of marriage. As the 4 years of their married life were coming to the end, she thought that time had come for one of them. Chapter 2nd. Maya failed to make friends with the cat, thinking that Maya would forget Toto if she was given another pet. Gautama brought her a cat, but this cat refused to be friendly with Maya. Maya observed that spirit of love prevailed all over the universe. She saw that the pigeons' nests were suddenly filled with babies that twittered and muttered and whimpered all day. Her attention was distracted by the doves, which were in a mood for mating, but somehow she had the feeling that her desire for love would remain unresponded. Therefore, the doves seemed to say to her repeatedly in fatal words, go away. Reminded of her life in her father's house, Gautama's coldness in matters of love made her so sad that she saw in retrospect that the spring she passed in her father's house used to be different, and her father was so affectionate and loving. She recollected that spring at Lucknow was different. She enjoyed herself there. A doting father. A father was very sweet and affectionate when the maid servant was on leave. He would look after her. His love was so intense and deep that people, though she spoil, though he spoils her, they also say that I can get anything I want from him. She was excited to know that he would take her to Darjeeling. As against this, Gautam was not able to go out during summers. When she asked him to take her to South, he said sarcastically that she could go with her father. He became more pungent when he came to know that Maya's father had a program to go to Darjeeling. Maya was hurt to see that Gautam was prepared to live alone, while Maya was not prepared to go to the hills and leave Gautama to live in the heat. Gautama's behavior was in sharp contrast to the behavior of Maya's father. Lack of emotions in Gautam's family. It was not Gautam alone who was emotionless. The whole family of Gautam could talk on any topic under the sun, but love or emotions. They talked about discussions in parliament, cases of library, rampant corruption, trade pacts, political treaties, but love or personal emotions were out of bound. The atmosphere of Gautam's family was so impersonal that Maya felt chalked in it. Maya's father couldn't come to her rescue. He said to her with assuring calm, "It will all be well. It will all be well soon, Maya." She remembered that he consoled her in her childhood with such pet phrases. What good does it do to cry? Why must you go so upset? Surely it is all for the best. But she knew that such phrases would not console her in the present situation where it was a question of death. She realized that her father had no answer as he advised her to accept the situation as a part of life. Her meeting with Laila.